always believed betrayal came with a warning sign. Shifty eyes, a trembling voice, the kind of energy you can feel even before a person speaks. But when the betrayal came for me, it wore a smile I had trusted for 17 years. Her name was Ayla, my best friend since childhood, the kind of friend who knew how many times I cried for my father, who understood the rifts in my family better than anyone else. She was there when my mother walked out, leaving my father drowning in rage and me drowning in loneliness. Ayla used to say, "You're not alone. You have me." And I believed her, until the day I realized I had handed her every weakness, every secret, like a lamb walking into a wolf's den. It started small, strange whispers in the house, my father's sudden coldness, my brother's suspicious looks. I didn't understand why, until one night I heard my father arguing with someone on the phone. "Are you sure?" he growled. "She said that about us?" I froze outside his door. She? My heartbeat thundered as I leaned closer. "She tells you everything, but I never thought she'd speak against her own family." My chest tightened. Who were they talking about? Later that evening, while setting the dinner table, I noticed my father eyeing me, not with anger, but disappointment, the kind that breaks you more than shouting ever could. He finally said, his voice heavy, "Ayla came over today. She told us something." My stomach dropped. What did she say?" He hesitated. "You're planning to leave this house, that you've been saving money behind my back, that you're tired of us." I gasped. "That's not true. Why would she?" But he wouldn't look at me anymore. That night, I sat alone in my room, staring at the glow of my phone screen. My fingers hovered over her name. Should I call her? Ask her why she would spread such venom? Before I could decide, my phone buzzed. "Ayla. Hey. How are things? Did your dad talk to you?" Me. "Why did you tell him lies?" Her reply came instantly, as if she had been waiting. "Ayla, I didn't lie. I'm just protecting you." Me. "Protecting me from what?" She sent a voice note. My hand trembled as I pressed play. Her voice dripped with false concern, the kind that hides poison under honey. "I know you. I know your family. They break you every day. You told me you wanted to escape. I'm helping you." I felt my jaw clench. Yes, I had told her my fears, my nightmares, my pain, but I never said I wanted to run away. She twisted my vulnerability into a weapon and handed it straight to the people I lived with. When my mother left years ago, she broke our family. But Ayla, she stepped into the empty space my mother left and acted like she wanted to patch me together. Now I understood. She wasn't stitching me back. She was slowly, secretly, pulling the threads apart, and I hadn't even seen it happening. But something in my chest hardened that night, a flicker
of suspicion, a spark of anger. I didn't know it yet, but this was only the beginning. Whatever Ayla wanted, she wasn't done.
I woke up the next morning with a knot in my stomach, the kind that warned me something was waiting, something I wasn't prepared to face. My room felt colder, as if the house itself was holding its breath. I stepped out quietly, hoping maybe my father's anger had faded overnight. But the moment I walked into the living room, I knew I was wrong. My brother, Zane, sat on the couch with his elbows on his knees, scrolling through his phone with an expression I couldn't read. My father was standing near the window, arms crossed, looking out like he was waiting for something to happen, or someone. He turned when he heard my footsteps. "We need to talk," he said. Those words always meant trouble. I sat down slowly. Is this about Isla again? My father didn't answer. Instead, Zane locked his phone and looked up at me with narrowed eyes. "You told Isla something yesterday, and now the entire extended family is talking about it." My heart skipped. "What? What did she say?" He tapped his phone and turned the screen toward me. There was a screenshot of messages, a group chat from my aunties. Gossip, opinions, judgments, all about me. And then I saw it. Isla's message. She says she's suffocating in that house. She says you all don't care about her. I'm the only one she trusts. My breath caught in my throat. That wasn't just twisting my words. She had created an entirely new reality. "I never said any of that," I snapped. My father sighed heavily. Why would she lie? The question hit me like a slap. Why would Isla lie? What did she gain from turning my family against me? I don't know, but I didn't say those things. My father rubbed his forehead. It's hard to know what to believe right now. The disappointment in his eyes stung deeper than anger ever could. Zane stood up abruptly. "Look, whatever is happening, you need to fix this. People already think our house is broken. This is humiliating." I felt something inside me crack. For years, I'd been the one patching my family together, cooking, mediating arguments, pretending everything was fine. And yet, the moment a rumor surfaced, they believed everyone but me. I went to my room, shut the door, and slid down to the floor. I dialed Isla. She picked up immediately, her voice sugary sweet. "Hey, are you okay? Did they talk to you?" I clenched my jaw. "Why did you tell them those lies?" A beat of silence, then a soft laugh. "Lies? Sweetheart, I'm helping them understand you. You're always so quiet, so scared to tell the truth. You need someone who can say it for you." My skin crawled. "Isla, you're making things worse." Her voice shifted, still gentle, but with something sharp beneath it. "Trust me, I know what's best for you. Your family is toxic. You're better off distancing yourself. My blood ran cold. That's when I realized she didn't want to protect me. She wanted to own me, my emotions, my weaknesses, my entire narrative. And she was using my broken family as her playground. I hung up without another word. But later that night, as I lay awake, I heard the front gate creak open, and my heart froze. Because I recognized the voice greeting my father softly. Isla. She had come to my house, uninvited.
The next morning felt different, heavier, darker, like the air itself carried a warning. I barely slept, replaying the sound of Ayla's voice at the gate over and over again. Why had she come so late? What did she say? What did she want? I went downstairs, and the answer hit me immediately. Ayla was sitting in my living room, comfortably, confidently, holding a cup of tea as if she belonged there. My father sat opposite her, nodding seriously, while Zane hovered near the wall like he was trying to decode her every word. None of them noticed me at first. That's how absorbed they were. Finally, she turned to me with a soft smile. "Good morning," she said sweetly, as if she hadn't shattered my life in 24 hours. My father gestured for me to sit. We were discussing some important things. My pulse spiked. Without me? My father cleared his throat. "Ayla told us some things you've been hiding." There it was again. Her voice inserted into my life like poison. "What now?" I forced out. Ayla set her cup down gently, too gently. She told them about my anxiety, the panic attacks, the crying at night. They didn't know how much I was suffering. I stared at her in disbelief. Those were private conversations. She tilted her head. "Private doesn't mean secret. I'm just trying to help them understand you." My vision blurred with rage. "You're twisting everything." Zane scoffed. "Why are you fighting her? She's trying to help." I looked at my father for support, but he only sighed. "We need to know these things. You're our family." "But you don't believe me," I murmured. Ayla reached out, as if to touch my hand, but I jerked away. Her smile flickered, just for a second, revealing something dark underneath. She didn't like losing control. She straightened her posture. "She thinks she needs therapy," she told my father. "Or at least some time away from social pressure. Maybe she should stay with me for a while." My jaw dropped. "Excuse me?" She turned to me, smiling softly. "It's for your own good." In that moment, everything clicked.
Ayla wasn't content with damaging my family. She wanted to isolate me from them entirely, to become the only voice in my life. A wolf in the skin of a caring friend. I stood up abruptly. I'm not staying with you, and you need to leave. My father scolded, "Stop being rude." But Ayla just smiled, too calm, too knowing. "Okay," she said, "but I'm not giving up on you." Those words lingered long after she left, like a threat dipped in honey. I went to my room and locked the door, my hands shaking. Everything she touched twisted into something ugly. My family believed her more than they believed me. She was weaving a web, and I was stuck in the center. But that evening, I discovered something even more terrifying. My diary, the one I hid under my mattress, it was sitting on my desk, opened, with fingerprints that weren't mine. And I knew she had been inside my room, inside my thoughts, inside my life, for much longer than I realized.
I held my diary as if it were something fragile and burning at the same time. My heart thudded so loudly I could hear it in my ears. How did Ayla get into my room? When? How much had she read? The thought made my stomach twist. I flipped through the pages. Some had tiny creases, fresh ones. She had definitely gone through them recently. A knock on my door jolted me. Zane poked his head in. "What's wrong with you? Why were you so hostile to Ayla?" I clenched my jaw. "She's manipulating you." He rolled his eyes. "You're overreacting. She cares about you." "No," I whispered. "She cares about control." He shook his head and left, muttering something under his breath. I felt alone in a house full of people, completely unseen. That night, as the house slept, I couldn't stop thinking about my diary. I pulled out my old phone, the one I didn't use anymore, and scrolled through old messages from Ayla, trying to find clues. Then I froze. 2 years ago, after my mother left, I had sent Ayla emotional messages, raw, unfiltered pain. She had comforted me. But beneath that, I found an old voice note from her, one I barely remembered. She had said, "I know your family thinks they're better than everyone. Your dad looks down on my father. Your mother avoids us. One day, they'll learn." At the time, I thought she was venting. Now,
It felt like a threat. The next morning, I decided to confront her. Not with anger, no, with information. I walked into school and found her near the courtyard. She smiled instantly. "There you are," she said brightly. "I've been worried." I stepped closer. "Did you go into my room?" A flicker of surprise crossed her face. "Why would I?" "My diary was opened." She shrugged casually. "Maybe you forgot you left it like that." "I didn't." For the first time, her smile faltered. "You're being paranoid." "No," I said firmly. "I'm being observant." Her eyes hardened. "You're upset. It's clouding your judgment." I took a breath. "I heard your old voice note about my family." Something in her expression cracked. Then she exhaled slowly. "Your family humiliated my father, years ago. When he asked for help with his business, your father rejected him. We almost lost everything. And when my mother came to your house asking for support, your mother pretended she didn't know her." I blinked. I didn't know that." "No one tells you anything," she said bitterly. "But I remember. I remember every insult, every moment your family acted like mine didn't matter." "So, you're punishing me for what they did?" She tilted her head, her voice softening again. "I'm not punishing you. I'm freeing you. You deserve better than a family that ruins everyone around them." My breath caught. She believed every word she said. She thought she was the hero. But she was destroying me to heal her old wounds. And she didn't plan on stopping.
After my confrontation with Ayla, I went home hoping, praying that someone in my family would listen to me. But the moment I stepped inside, I sensed tension. Not the loud kind, the quiet, dangerous kind. My father sat at the table, arms crossed. Zane leaned against the counter, avoiding my eyes. "What now?" I asked cautiously. My father held up his phone. "Ayla told us about your confrontation." "Of course she did." "She said you're accusing her of things she never did." I felt my patience snap. "You believe her more than your own daughter?" Silence. Then Zane spoke, not angrily, not dismissively, just evasively. "Look, she's been worried about you. She talked to me last week about how unstable you've seemed." My entire body went cold. "Last week? You've been talking to her about me?" I whispered. He hesitated. "Just a little." She said she was concerned. My heart dropped. "So you've been feeding her information about me?" "It wasn't like that," he said quickly.
She asked how you were doing. I told her you've been stressed. That's all. But it wasn't all. It was the missing piece. The door she used to slip deeper into my personal life. How much did you tell her? My voice shook. He looked away. Enough. He told her enough. That's why she knew when my father and I argued, why she knew when I cried, why she could twist everything so convincingly. She had an inside source. You betrayed me, I whispered. Zane's face darkened. I didn't betray you. I was helping. You helped her, not me. He opened his mouth to argue again, but I walked past him, unable to stand the sight. I went to my room and locked the door. My mind raced, connecting dots I had ignored for too long. Ayla wasn't just manipulating me. She was manipulating my family through the sibling who never imagined she could be anything but harmless. Later that night, while scrolling through my brother's old texts on the shared tablet, I found something worse. A chat between Zane and Ayla. Zane, she cried again last night. Ayla, good. That means she's finally realizing things. Zane, I don't like seeing her like this. Ayla, it's necessary. Trust me. Necessary. Necessary for what? To break me? To isolate me? To free me from my own family? For the first time in my life, I felt afraid of the people I lived with, not because they wanted to hurt me, but because they couldn't see they already were. I closed the tablet, my hands shaking. Someone knocked on my door. A soft tap. Not Zane, not my father. Ayla's voice drifted from the other side. Can I come in? My blood turned to ice. She had come back to my house again. No, I said sharply. She chuckled softly. Sweetheart, I'm not going anywhere. Your family needs me. I stepped back, my breath unsteady. And then she said something that made my heart stutter.
They're starting to understand I'm the only one who really cares about you. After Ayla's chilling words at my door, I barely slept. Every creak of the house sounded like her footsteps. Every whisper felt like her breathing through the walls. By morning, I had made one decision. I needed proof. Proof for my father, proof for Zane, proof that Ayla was the wolf they refused to see. So, I began quietly collecting everything. Old messages, screenshots, voice notes. I even recorded the things she'd said at my door the night before. But the universe wasn't on my side. At breakfast, my father gestured for me to sit. Ayla sat beside him. Too close, too comfortable. I stayed standing. My father glanced at her, then at me. Ayla told us something very serious last night. Of course she did. Apparently, he continued, you think we're the reason your mother left. My throat closed. I never said that. Ayla lowered her gaze, faking sadness. I told them you didn't mean it. You were just hurting. I stared at her, horrified. Why are you inventing stories about my mother now? She looked up with soft, pitying eyes. Because you won't admit the truth. You've buried so much pain that it's coming out in confusion. No, I said firmly. You are twisting everything I ever trusted you with. My father stood abruptly. Enough. Ayla is trying to help this family heal. You're being ungrateful and irrational. Ungrateful. I swallowed hard, feeling something inside me fracture. Ayla's influence was now complete. She had wrapped herself around my family like ivy, suffocating everything underneath. But then something unexpected happened. My father's phone buzzed. He frowned at the screen, confused. "What is this?" he murmured. Zane leaned over. "Let me see." The color drained from his face because the message sent to my father's phone was from my number. But I hadn't touched my phone all morning. And the message read, "I hate this house. I hate all of you. Ayla is the only one who understands me." My entire world tilted. Ayla gasped dramatically. "Oh no, she didn't mean that. She's overwhelmed." I shook my head, stepping back. "I didn't send that." My father's eyes were filled with hurt. "Your name is right there. I didn't send it," I shouted. Zane looked conflicted, glancing between us. Ayla placed a hand on his arm, grounding him instantly. "It's not her fault," Ayla said softly. "She's breaking. She needs to be somewhere safe." The implication hit me like a slap. She wanted to make them believe I needed to be removed from the house, to stay with her, or worse, somewhere she could control me entirely. That was her plan. Break my family, break my credibility, break my identity, and then take me for herself. "No, no, no," I whispered. But before I could say more, my phone buzzed in my pocket. A notification. From Ayla. "Message sent. Don't fight this. It's for your own good." A chill raced through me. She wasn't just manipulating them. She was actively framing me. And unless I fought back now, she would win. But the truth has a way of revealing itself. And when Ayla made one final mistake, everything she built came crashing down in a way none of us expected. I stared at Ayla's text, my breath caught somewhere between fear and fury. She had made a big mistake, one big one. She forgot that no matter how much she controlled my life, she couldn't control what I saw on my own screen. And I finally had proof, but I didn't show it immediately. No, this time I needed a plan, a real one, because Ayla didn't just lie. She orchestrated. She manipulated minds like they were puzzle pieces she could arrange however she wanted to. She had to be exposed in a way she couldn't twist. That afternoon, I pretended to retreat to my room, but I left the door slightly open and placed my phone on the desk. Screen on, recording. I waited. It didn't take long. Ayla entered quietly, as if she owned the house. She didn't even knock this time. She looked around, spotted my phone on the desk, and smiled. "You should have just listened," she murmured to herself. Then she picked up my phone, unlocked it, effortlessly. My heart pounded. She had my passcode. She scrolled through my apps, then opened my messages and began typing. I waited until I heard the whoosh of a sent message,
then stepped out from behind the door. What did you send this time? She froze. Her eyes flicked to my phone, then to me. You startled me. No, you startled yourself. She slowly set the phone down. Look, you're hurting. I'm stepping in where your family failed. And framing me helps how? Her expression hardened, the mask slipping. Your family never deserved you. I'm saving you from them. And from yourself. You're destroying my life to heal your ego. Her jaw clenched. You don't know anything. Oh, I know enough. Because this time, I recorded everything. For the first time, real panic flickered in her eyes. You're lying. I picked up my phone and pressed play. Her voice filled the room, all of it. Her plan, her confidence, her violation of my privacy, her guilt. The blood drained from her face. Before she could speak, my father appeared at the doorway, Zane behind him. They had heard the last part of the recording. My father stepped forward slowly, his face pale. Ayla, what have you done? Ayla swallowed hard. I was helping. You don't understand. Zane shook his head, betrayal clear in every line of his face. You manipulated all of us. Ayla looked around desperately, her facade cracking. No, I care about her. I was protecting her from you. But no one believed her anymore.
I always believed betrayal came with a warning sign. Shifty eyes, a trembling voice, the kind of energy you can feel even before a person speaks. But when the betrayal came for me, it wore a smile I had trusted for 17 years. Her name was Ayla, my best friend since childhood, the kind of friend who knew how many times I cried for my father, who understood the rifts in my family better than anyone else. She was there when my mother walked out, leaving my father drowning in rage, and me drowning in loneliness. Ayla used to say, "You're not alone. You have me." And I believed her until the day I realized I had handed her every weakness, every secret, like a lamb walking into a wolf's den. It started small, strange whispers in the house, my father's sudden coldness, my brother's suspicious looks. I didn't understand why, until one night I heard my father arguing with someone on the phone. "Are you sure?" he growled. "She said that about us?" I froze outside his door. She? Who? My heartbeat thundered as I leaned closer. "She tells you everything," my father hissed. "But I never thought she'd speak against her own family." My chest tightened. Who? Who were they talking about? Later, that evening, while setting the dinner table, I noticed my father eyeing me, not with anger, but disappointment, the kind that breaks you more than shouting ever could. He finally said, his voice heavy, "Ayla,
came over today. She told us something. My stomach dropped. What? What did she say? He hesitated. That you're planning to leave this house. That you've been saving money behind my back. That you're tired of us. I gasped. That's not true. Why would she? But he wouldn't look at me anymore. That night, I sat alone in my room, staring at the glow of my phone screen. My fingers hovered over her name. Should I call her? Ask her why she would spread such venom? Before I could decide, my phone buzzed. Ayla. Hey, how are things? Did your dad talk to you? Me. Why did you tell him lies? Her reply came instantly, as if she had been waiting. Ayla. I didn't lie. I'm just protecting you. Me? Protecting me from what? She sent a voice note. My hand trembled as I pressed play. Her voice dripped with false concern, the kind that hides poison under honey. She said softly, I know you. I know your family. They break you every day. You told me you wanted to escape. I'm helping you. I felt my jaw clench. Yes, I had told her my fears, my nightmares, my pain. But I never said I wanted to run away. She twisted my vulnerability into a weapon and handed it straight to the people I lived with. When my mother left years ago, she broke our family. But Ayla, she stepped into the empty space my mother left and acted like she wanted to patch me together. Now I understood. She wasn't stitching me back. She was slowly, secretly, pulling the threads apart. And I hadn't even seen it happening. But something in my chest hardened that night. A flicker of suspicion, a spark of anger. I didn't know it yet, but this was only the beginning. Whatever Ayla wanted, she wasn't done.